What's up, Builders Club TV Nation? You got DeJuan Jones here, your professional stay-at-home dad, and I'm super excited, guys. I'm totally fired up. You know how we do it. We have a very special, phenomenal guest individual on the show tonight. We're so excited to have this gentleman, entrepreneur, home business mentor, international speaker, and trainer, literally helping a lot of people, guys, a lot of folks in this home business industry win big. We got David Pietsch on the show, guys. Let me get myself on camera so you can see me, and I can thank you as always for tuning in tonight, and also for sharing the information about the show. We appreciate the family for sharing the information again about the show. This is for the culture, so we definitely want to continue to spread the word that the Builders Club TV Nation is here. So continue to, in fact, when you're coming in to watch this, go ahead and smash the like button and share this video with someone that you want to inspire, because we got, again, a phenomenal individual on the show, and we are definitely looking forward to the conversation. In fact, let's make sure we got him on. David, can you hear me okay? We can hear you loud and clear, man. Let me get you on camera so the family can see you as well, man. Let me get you on camera here. There we go. What's going on, man?
It's all good. It's a nice sunny day in Las Vegas. We'll take it.
Oh, man, I love Las Vegas. Every time I go there, man, I'm trying to stay out of trouble, man. a lot to get into in Las Vegas.
Yep.
Absolutely, man. So, we are very excited to have you on the show, man. Anytime we get someone like yourself that we can talk to and learn from and kind of soak up as much information as we can, it's always exciting. So, again, I want to make sure that I formally tell you, thank you for coming on to the Builders Club TV show.
It's my pleasure. And thank you for having me.
Definitely, man. So if you've seen the show a little bit, David, what we like to do, we like to throw our guests in the Builders Club TV time machine. And what that means is we're going to take the family back on a little, field trip back to your past, because we found out, speaking to so many extraordinary people like yourself, there's so much to learn when you dig into the past of successful people. Would you agree?
For sure.
Absolutely, man. So we can be, nosy a little bit and talk to you about your path to success. We'd like to do that with you tonight, man. So if we can, let's take the family back and talk about your path to success. So in fact, tell us, what was life like for you before you discovered the industry of home business?
Well, my background is in chiropractic. So for me, played college football. I started out as a med student and got hurt playing football. Kind of thought being a chiropractor would be a little bit more my personality, being able to, own my own practice and not have to work for some sort of hospital or some sort of medical group. So decided to become a chiropractor, and just that, that choice and that path alone, got to get your undergraduate degree. So I have a biology degree, and then went on for 4 more years after that at chiropractic school. And so for me, just to even have that accomplishment was difficult for me, because, I pretty much cheated all the way through high school. I was all focused on sports. I didn't give a rip about school. And so, just to even get into college and, take those kind of courses was a big win. But, I, as a chiropractor, it was just like my whole life for about 10 years. All I did is, market in the community to get people to become my patient. And then, just obviously seeing the patients all throughout the day. And so, I found myself about 12 and a half years ago, after building my dream of, becoming a chiropractor, building a huge chiropractic office. In fact, I built 3 over the years. And, I had that thing, we were seeing so many patients every week. And I'm just like, this cannot be my life, because all I did was work. And I can remember very clearly, I would say several months before I got into my company that I'm with now, just laying in bed going, God, this cannot be my life. Like this, I cannot do this for the rest of my life. Right. There's got to be more. I got to make a change. And so luckily for me, I had a friend who followed up with me for about 2 years. Wow. And finally he walked into my chiropractic office and shared our company that I'm in now with me. And it truly changed the course of my life. So I found myself 12 and a half years ago as a 37-year-old man who, I did what I thought was the right thing. I went to school, I got good grades, I got into college, I became one of the super professions. I built it to one of the highest levels in the country. I had a huge practice, and I was absolutely miserable. So
Wow.
that's where I was when I started.
Wow. Wow. And that's amazing, because you see successful people, and you wonder sometimes, are they truly happy? Are they truly fulfilled with what they're doing? And are they in a space where they wish they could actually be doing something else? And so you were actually in that space. Talk to us about, because you said you had a friend that followed up with you for about 2 years. Tell us what happened that finally made you take a look.
Yeah. So, when they launched our company, he started calling me right off the bat. And, I had just spent a lot of money on new equipment in my practice. And I just committed to a lot of contracts in the newspaper, in which I was advertising at the time, up in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. And so I had so much skin in the game, I really couldn't even, think about doing something else at the time. And so he would very passionately call me month after month. And, he'd always call me up and go, "Yo, Pietsch, what are you doing tonight?" And I'd be like, "I'm washing my hair." I would never let him come meet with me and pitch me on his deal. And I knew what he was doing. I mean, but he would call me from like the big events that they would put on every once in a while. I could hear the crowd in the background and, just fired up. But, there's a teaching point in this, because he followed up with me for about 2 years. And then he eventually got me, because he just came in our company. He qualified for our house bonus. Mm-hmm. And he said to the company, "Hey, look, I've already got my house paid for. I'm a pilot. Would you pay for an airplane for me?" And so the company agreed to that. And so he got his own airplane. He flew it up to Minneapolis, and he just came to my chiropractic office, and he met with me face to face. And, what are you going to do? A guy flies an airplane up to see you. He wants to do business with you. He's making a bunch of money. He says he's going to help me. And I'm looking at him going, this guy sells something that people actually want to sell. It's fun. It's talking about travel. And I'm like, man, I haven't gone anywhere in a long time. And I'm just like looking at him going, he is throwing me a lifeline. Why would I not grab it? I would be crazy not to, take this shot. And he's telling me that he's willing to go meet with my contacts and sign him up and help me build a team. And I'm just like, all right, I'll do it. So, we made the decision to get in. And once we made that decision, we did not look back. We just let it rip.
Wow. So was the success pretty immediate, or how did it flow for you?
Yeah, I mean, in my company, I've been very blessed. I set all the records. I'm the fastest person to go to the top in the United States. And, things, I don't think they could have gone, together any better than they actually did in the very beginning. I hit one of our earlier ranks faster than anybody had ever done it at that time. And it's just like everything was just working big time. Mm-hmm. So right about now, I really started to notice that I'm doing nightly meetings. I made the decision once we decided to go for it, that I tore some of the walls out of my chiropractic office just so we could create space to do the presentations for our company on a nightly basis. And so we started out doing presentations out of my chiropractic office up in the Twin Cities, 5 nights a week. And so we were just packing it out. It didn't start out, super busy right off the bat, but we did start fast. And, we got it to the place where we're seeing 50, having 50 people a night come out, 100 people a night or more, 5 nights a week. But then we get to right about now, mid-December, and I saw those numbers start to taper off, 30 people, 17, 40, 5, 3, nobody. And so I started to get a little discouraged, and I called my sponsor, and he said, "Yeah, hey, listen, it's the holidays, no big deal. Just get through it, and we'll get back January 1. We'll just turn the jets back on." So I go back up there January 1. I just made all my goals. I'm ready to rock and roll and ready to conquer the world. And I go up there, and not really anybody showing up again. Numbers are small, and I got really discouraged. And so I stepped back, and I can honestly tell you that for 4 months of my life, I gave it everything that I had. I mean, I have no regrets. I could not have worked any harder than I did, because I would see patients during the day, but I was just sharing our company at night and on the weekends. And I gave it truly every ounce of energy that I had. And as I stepped back after 4 months, I realized that I'd only earned about $11,000. Wow. And that really started to jack with my mind, because I knew that I could take my little chiropractic stand over to the gym right across the street from my clinic, camp out there for a couple hours, pick up a couple new patients, and make $11,000 in really, truly just a couple hours of marketing. So that really kind of jacked with my mind. And so I kind of made the decision that, I'm just going to let this fade and let some of the people I got in take the ball and run with it, especially a lot of my staff members and whatnot. And, I living in Minneapolis at the time, it's cold in the winter, it's dark, and it's dark early. And I walked up to my chiropractic office on a Sunday afternoon with the intent of changing my schedule. And at that time, I'm not on Facebook. My communication, because it was all a local team, was with my team. I just had a whiteboard in the front of my office saying, hey, we're going to do our company's meetings on these days, Sunday through Thursday. And I went up there with the intent of, I'm going to eliminate 3 of those nights and just do meetings on Tuesday and Thursday and see if I can't get the group synergy coming back with less nights to do the presentation. And as I was up in my office, I really started to think like, man, I'm really kind of quitting on this. I'm failing. And I started thinking about that movie, G.I. Jane, if you've ever seen that, where, if you're a Navy SEAL and you don't have the cookies and you want to tap out, you just walk to the middle of the camp and you ring the bell and say, I'm out. And I kind of felt like that was my ring the bell moment. And so for me, instead of erasing 3 nights and only doing the presentation 2 nights a week out of my practice, I wrote 2 more on there. I wrote Saturday on there and Sunday, and I went all in my mind. And I would love to be able to tell you, Dewan, that things turned around immediately, but they did not.
Wow.
I'm still going up there. Numbers are small, 15, 5. I kept getting some 3 older gals that were already in coming out, and, they're like 75. And, I'd seen patients all day and they're in, they got no guests. And they're the only ones that would show up, and they're like, hey, Dr. Pietsch, do the presentation. I'm like, no, go home. Bring me somebody tomorrow night. I'm not doing it for you guys. I'm tired, and go up there 10, go up there 25. But I just couldn't get those numbers back up over 50 or 100 like I had consistently for a long time. And so what really changed my life was I made the decision to get as many. I estimate I had about 500 people on my team back then. And I tried to call as many of those people as I could to get them to come to our convention, which was going to be in Las Vegas, one of our big events. And I called as many as I could. I estimate that we probably had around 75 people that actually came out to Las Vegas. And I tried to introduce as many of them as I could to the owners and top field earners and just get that experience, just to get them to see why I was so excited. And long story short, we did that. And I said to these people that were there with me, I said, if you're serious about building this thing, if you really want to do this, what I want you to do is just come to my house, the night following the big event. We get back to Minneapolis, we fly back, just come over to my house and let's just put a game plan together. Well, 11 families came over to my house that night. And all I can tell you, Dewan, is the 11 of us put in 2,500 members into our club over the next 90 days. And it allowed me to set all the records in our company. So I'm a big believer in the big events. I'm a big believer in getting people to see people that aren't you and see something bigger, a bigger vision of your company, whatever you happen to be in. And, persistence and not quitting and just sticking with it. Because for me, had I gone with my initial gut instinct, I would have quit, 12 years ago. And here I am, all these years later, we've been able to build a team of more than 250,000 people now. So, to say that, my life has been changed is a gross understatement, because it has radically rocked my world in every facet of my life. I mean, I sold my chiropractic office back in 2010. My wife and I kept our house in Minneapolis, but now we have a house here in Las Vegas as well, so we don't have to pay the taxes in Minnesota, number one, and number two, we don't have to deal with the winters. So, it's just the freedom that we have now because of decisions that we made 10, 11, and 12 years ago. So, I'm all about residual income, baby.
Oh, yes, absolutely. David, have you always been with the same company?
Yeah. Yep.
And so I want to ask you, for someone who hasn't been as fortunate to be with the same company and have, amazing success that you've been able to have, do you have advice for someone who maybe is thinking about going to another company? Should they just stick it through, figure out how to get better at what they're doing, or try to figure out where the loopholes are, if you will, or should they, venture into something else? Do you have advice for someone who might be dealing with that?
Well, I mean, for me, I picked the company that I'm in because it's travel. My background, being a chiropractor, I know a lot about nutrition. I could sell you nutrition all day long. I believe in it. But the challenge I had with that was, I just have been pitched on so many different products over such a long period of time. And, I just am tired of that whole, scene. And, it's not that there's anything wrong with it. That's the kind of company that you're in. But I just know that the competition is so fierce over there, and you just have to, basically say, even though we have a similar product to what they sell at the grocery store or vitamin shop or wherever, ours is better because of X, Y, Z. And I didn't want to have to make 2 sales pitches every night, if that makes sense. I just wanted to have a product that people naturally wanted and be able to sell it at a price they couldn't get anywhere else. And I picked the company that I'm in because I just thought it was the fun one. I like travel. It's the biggest industry in the world, and we sell at a price you can't get anywhere else. And so, I think at the end of the day, you have to look at, I think the biggest mistake that people make is they get passionate about whatever product they have, and they somehow think that everybody else is going to get fired up. And that's a colossal mistake. Here's how I know it. I was very passionate about chiropractic. I mean, I promise you, I went to, I spent a lot of time outside of school, just going to seminars, learning the science and philosophy of chiropractic and learning the technique of chiropractic. I was very passionate about it. But I can tell you as a marketer, and I don't mean to put this company down in any way, shape, or form, because I would love for our company to be on par with these guys. But I can't think of a worse word for a marketer than Amway. You say Amway, people prejudge it. It's wrong. Yeah. That wall goes up and they think, okay, I already know what it is. I don't want any part of it. Well, I think chiropractic is very much the same thing. It's these walls go up, people prejudge. Yes, chiropractic is more prevalent today than it was in the past, but I do think a lot of people prejudge it. And, my advice would be just don't do that to yourself in any way, shape, or form. You got to sell something that other people want at a price they cannot get anywhere else. And if you've got that, they will buy it from you. So, I do think you have to have the right company. I mean, is it compliant? Is it something that's a fad? I mean, I could name product names right now that I think are going to be very much a fad. I mean, they're everywhere. They're popping up all over the place. And, I don't know what the future holds, but I know that whatever, this thing that I'm thinking in my mind, I know the price is going to come down in the very short term, and the long term of it, I just don't know. And I'm sure you can figure out what I'm talking about. But, again, I think you have to, are you having fun would be my biggest question to you is if you're not having fun every day, then it's not going to work.
That's good stuff. And I was going to ask you, you kind of led into it, but I mean, and you might be the most qualified to answer this question. Is it mostly, or is it passion? Is it in order to have success in this industry, is it going to require that you have a lot of passion, you have a lot of luck, you have the right team, the right leadership, the right timing, the right product, the right company? What is it that someone really needs to have or master to get to the level of success that you've been able to achieve?
It's a great question. And the answer is charisma. You have to be a charismatic person. You have to win the crowd. I mean, I always think of that movie Gladiator, where he says, you got to go out there and win the crowd. You got to understand, if people don't like you, they're not going to want to introduce you to their friends, their family, and their neighbors as their mentor. If you're not the kind of person that has their act together in every area of your life, how can somebody edify you as their mentor? So number one, I think you have to be a charismatic person. I think you have to bring people together. I think you have to be a fun-loving, positive person. At the same time, you have to have confidence. You know where you're going to go. You're going to make it work. And, you've got charisma, you've got confidence, you've got this absolute certainty that, you're going to take these people that are partnering with you to the top. And as you increase your communication skills, I think that's a big part of it. Do people believe the things that you're actually saying? Is it coming from your heart? Are you a passionate person? People like being around passionate people. People like being around confident people. I learned something when I was playing football in high school and in college. I was the quarterback on my team, and I felt like we were always losing at the end. It seemed like I got a lot of these VHS tapes. You probably don't even know what that is, but I've got VHS tapes too.
I'm from that era.
I got proof that we were losing most of the time, and we were backed up against our own end zone, and we got a couple of minutes left to go down, score, go down the length of the field and score and win the game. And we did it over and over and over again. And you can literally look at me just pointing at all my teammates going, we are going to go down and score. We're going to win this game. And it was just that confidence that I had that was just kind of, they just bought into my own belief. And it's kind of like, if you're Tom Brady and you're in the Super Bowl and you're down, I mean, we all know he's going to go down and win the game. We just know it. I mean, whether you like the Patriots or not, I don't like the Patriots, but I just know that guy's going to win, and you just have to have that kind of mystique and that mojo. And it just this, like if you're an amateur, you kind of are tossed to and fro by circumstances, but the pros, they just stay up. They just expect things to happen. And so because they have unwavering faith, things just happen for them because people want to be around people like that.
You know what? I have to agree with you 1,000% because, we've been blessed to have a lot of, great individuals on the show. We've been blessed to interview a lot of great individuals in the industry. And David, they all have a special quality about themselves. And the charisma is, that's one of those qualities. But here's the thing. The home business entrepreneurs that are watching this interview are going to be watching this interview. Some of them might be scared to death, right? Because they're thinking, well, I don't have charisma. I don't have the personality that they're talking about. What advice do you have for a person who feels that they don't have the personality to attract, success, like you're saying? What can they do?
You need to change your personality then. That's a great question. Because look, we put people into 4 categories. We put them into the red, the hard charging, want to win at all cost type of person. Then you have the blues, the people that are fun loving, tend to be late and irresponsible. You have the greens, the analytical bean counter type banker person. Then you have the yellows. They love unicorns and rainbows and lollipops and the color purple and all that kind of stuff. So, people look at me and they're always like, oh, Dr. Pietsch, he's such a red. He's just so competitive. And and I'm just here to tell you, when I take those personality profile tests, it doesn't come back that I'm red. It comes back that I'm blue. Because if I put my guard down, I love to goof around and have fun. But when I'm playing business, when I'm doing my network marketing company, I'm all red. And, my natural personality is different than the one that I put out to the world because I've just learned over the years that I can change my personality. And, if you're not a charismatic person, then just pretend like you are. It's as simple as that. Like the next person that you meet has no idea what you were like in the past. Just change it. Because again, if you're not bringing people together, like I have a guy on my team, his name is Travis. This guy's like a dog. I always say it. The minute you meet this guy is your best friend. I just love being around him. He has high energy. He's always positive. He's always doing fun things. You have got to be that person. I learned how to do that as a kid as well. Like my mom was kind of the Kool-Aid kid in my neighborhood. And so my dad put up lights in our backyard so that we called it Pietsch Park. And so we play wiffle ball back there, or we play football back there. And I was always just bringing people together, and just being nice and likable and, just liking people for who they are and just loving on people and genuinely caring about human beings. And if you have that kind of personality, people will naturally want to be around you. So I think that really goes more towards, do you really care about people? Because if you really care about people, then you're going to ask them questions. You're going to show an interest in their life. And, like people can smell a fraud a million miles away. I mean, like truly start to care about other human beings and just watch what happens to your own life.
That's powerful stuff. And you know what? I think the theme that a lot of the viewers that are going to be tuning into all of the interviews that we've done, that is the common theme. Every leader that's been on the show has said that same thing. You got to make it about the people first. You have to have it. You have to have a vision for the people first, even before you have a vision for yourself. Kind of got to take all your dreams, your goals, kind of put it in your back pocket, and then go help someone else, find their dreams and goals. So absolutely, man. Can you go ahead, David, and give out your social media, website, or anything like that? The family can get in touch if they like.
Yeah. So my Facebook is just David Pietsch. My last name is spelled P-I-E, like pie, P-I-E-T-S-C-H. So David Pietsch. And then same thing on Instagram. And, if I can help you in any way, just send me a message on either one, and, be more than happy to help you any way that I can.
Absolutely. And is there any reading material, any books, any videos individuals can watch to work on the personality, to become more charismatic, communicate better with people? Anything that you recommend?
Hey, listen, Dewan, I always recommend people, if they haven't done it, you need to read the Bible from cover to cover, because what it will teach you, number one, is not only the truth, about what's going on in the world and beyond, but at the same time, it will teach you how to be a good person and how to make people more important than yourself. And, when the world revolves around you, you're not going to have that many people, and you probably won't have anybody even show up at your funeral. Have to hire people to, carry your body out of the building.
Yeah.
You've got to serve. If you want to be the greatest, you've got to become the least. And, because for me, that's very important to me. And as I look at human beings, I don't just look at them as somebody that I can get into my network marketing company so I can make money off of them. I just look at people, as human beings that, Jesus Christ died for, and he loved them. And so I'm going to love on that person too. And I just try to be a nice person. And I want thousands of people to come to my funeral and say, that guy cared about me, that guy helped me, and just was a friend to me. I think at the end of the day, if you just do what is right, you will be blessed. So
that's an amazing answer. We definitely appreciate you coming on to the show, David. We definitely got to have you back. It's just not enough time to pick your brain in this short amount of time that we've had you here. So we definitely got to have you back on the show. In fact, man, we're working behind the scenes on a new series called A Day in the Life. David, this is lifestyle meets personal development. We're calling it like the lifestyles of the rich and famous for network marketing. And we're having, where we're going to show, or basically take the guests on a virtual field trip and give them access to the lifestyle, but also we'll be able to speak with you more, speak with the leaders more, and get more personal development, get some more of those golden nuggets like what you've delivered to us today, man. So we'd be honored to have you on an episode of that. I think that would be awesome.
Hey, it would be my honor. You just let me know, man.
Absolutely. Before we let you go, we do want to play a game with you. Quickly, man. The guests have been loving it, killing it. The family's been enjoying it, and we just been getting so much from it, learning so much from it. It's been absolutely powerful. We call it a word of advice with a mentor. A word of advice with a mentor, and it's pretty simple to play. All we're gonna do, David, is we're gonna throw a few words at you, and then with those words we give you, you're gonna give us back a word of advice based on that word. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, you ready to play, man?
Let's do it.
Here we go. So the first word we have for you is path.
Path. Look, I'm a believer. So I think the path that is before you, you've got to find out what God really wants you to do. So you asked me earlier about, what company and those type of things. I just think that you got to make a decision. So pick one. And if you have peace about it, then just keep walking down that road. If you stop having peace, then I would evaluate, what's really going on, because, when you're in God's will, there's just no conflict in your mind. You just know that you're doing the right thing. So if you feel good about something, do it. If you have doubt, don't. So walk down the path until you have some sort of doubt.
I love that. The next word that we have for you, David, is fortune.
Fortune. Well, I think that fortune is something that happens when, you just work hard towards it. And I don't think that, people get lucky. If you think of like, oh, I was very fortunate or something like that. I just think that, you become what you think about ultimately. And so you got to figure out what it is that you really want. I mean, look, to be successful in network marketing is not any big thing. I mean, why is it any different than when I was a 18-year-old kid and made the decision to, okay, I'm going to go get a degree in biology. It's not like that's easy. You got to pay the price. You got to go to the classes. You got to pass the quizzes, the midterms, the exams. Okay, I want to get into chiropractic school. I got to get in. I got to pass I got to take the classes, quizzes, midterms, exams, boards. It's just like this curriculum is before you. And it's the same thing here. You just walk down the road and you just do it. So there's no such thing as luck. I just think that you set a goal before you and just go get it done, and you'll make your own fortune.
The next word we have for you is mind.
Well, I would control your mind. I mean, you got to guard it. You take the advice from people that don't necessarily have beliefs that you have. They're not in concert with your goals. It can steer you in the wrong direction. If I can give you any advice for years and years and years of my life, I really tuned out TV, especially the news and the negativity and all the kind of stuff that comes from all the propaganda that's on, the media. I would just put positive things into your mind that help and instruct and lead you towards an intended goal, rather than, letting that kind of stuff into your life. I mean, if you're not where you want to be in your financial life and the goals that you have, then you've got to set aside time to get these things done. And there's just no time for TV and all this other foolishness, until you have accomplished all the things that you want to accomplish. So, be very careful who you take advice from. I think you got to have mentors. I've got mentors in every area of my life, whether it's, regarding the Bible, whether it's regarding my network marketing company, how I, invest my money, the strategy that I have there. I mean, every area of my life, I try to find somebody who's really, really, really good at it. And then I just become very good friends with them, so that if I have a question on any one of those areas, I have a deep well of people that I can go to that are much better at that particular thing than I am.
Wow. The next word is excited.
You better have excitement, because if you don't have that, you're going to be broke. I can assure you that. Excitement doesn't cost you anything. That's a free one. So that should just naturally, you got to be excited for just all the blessings that you have in your life. I mean, we live in the richest land that has ever been known. So, I was just literally thankful today. Like, I'm in my bed. I'm like, man, I have a nice warm bed. I got a nice pillow. I'm gonna go take a hot shower. I was thinking of all just the basic things that we take for granted.
Oh, yeah.
And just be excited about life, because people like to be around, positive, excited, hopeful people. So again, that one doesn't cost you anything, and that should just be your MO on a daily basis.
Love it. The last word we have for you, David, the very last word is sacrifice.
Yeah, sacrifice. Yeah, you're going to pay the price. For me, when I started building my company, I didn't have a lot of time. So I gave up a handful of things. One of the things I gave up right off the bat was I used to like to go to all the Minnesota Timberwolves games. I really enjoyed doing that. I stopped doing that for a season for about 3 years of my life. In Minnesota, it's not a long season, but I like to go boating, take my boat out all the time. I stopped doing that. I stopped playing softball on my church softball team. And Dewan, believe it or not, David Pietsch used to be addicted to TV. I used to watch CSI, that show CSI?
Oh, yeah.
I watched CSI. I would watch CSI Miami. I would watch CSI New York.
Oh, man.
I heard they got a new one coming out, Dewan. It's called CSI Houston, right in your neck of the woods.
Wow.
I think I would. I had a physical labor job. It was hard to see patients every day. So I go home kind of tired, and I just relax by watching TV and just get up and do it again the next day. I just gave those things up. And, for me, I made a run of about 1,000 days. And I say this to all my people, if you put your head down and give it everything that you got for 1,000 days, consistency, back to back to back to back to back, I promise you can change your life drastically, because I'm living proof. I literally get paid today for behaviors that I had 10, 11, and 12 years ago. So look, you're either going to do it or you're not. There's a price that has to be paid. Pay it. Because if you don't pay it now, we can have the same conversation in a year or in 3 or in 5. So sacrifice is part of the deal.
Wow. And who do we have here? That's okay. Who do we have here?
This is the star of the show. This is my oldest daughter, Kennedy Rose. She almost made it through the whole interview. She almost made it.
It's quite all right. We this is reality TV. We're all family. I have 2 little ones myself, so I can definitely relate. I'm surprised they didn't burst in mid interview.
All right. Okay, we're almost done, buddy. We're almost done.
But definitely, man, we're not going to keep you long. We see you got to get back to daddy duty, which is all part of it, right? So this is a home-based business. So we appreciate you coming on to the show, David. We definitely got to have you back. You killed the game. We knew you were going to crush it. So again, thank you very much for coming on to the show.
Hey, Dewan, thanks so much for having me, and I look forward to doing it again.
Hey, back at you, man. There you have it, family. Builders Club TV Nation. There you have it, David Pietsch. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Rock and roll.